ever wake up and feel like life is just happening to you? Like you're stuck, trapped in the same routines, the same struggles, the same doubts. I've been there. I know what it's like to wonder if you're really enough, if you're really capable of breaking through. But let me tell you something your entire life can change with a single decision. One choice, one moment of absolute clarity where you decide, I'm not living like this anymore. That's all it takes. One decision that changes everything. Because here's the truth, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you the life you dream of. You've got to grab it. You've got to want it bad enough to push through the fear, the doubts, the setbacks. You think the greats got there by accident? Nah, they made a decision. They made a commitment to themselves that no matter what, they were going to show up, put in the work, and become who they were meant to be. But most people, they don't make that choice. They let fear run their lives. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping outside the comfort zone. That's why so many people stay stuck. But listen, fear is just a test. It's an illusion. And the moment you decide that fear is an OT going to control you, that's the moment you start living. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Will, I've tried. I've made decisions before, and life still knocked me down. I get it. I really do. But let me ask you this, did you really decide? Or did you just hope? Because there's a difference between wanting something and committing to it. Our decision means there's no turning back. It means you're willing to do whatever it takes. You see, most people think success is about luck. Like the right opportunity just falls into your lap. But that's not how it works. Success, real success, comes from the choices you make every single day. And it all starts with that one decision. The moment you say, I'm done playing small. I'm done making excuses. I'm stepping up. That's the moment everything starts to shift. But here's the catch, making that decision isn't enough. You gotta back it up with action. Because let's be real, how many times have you told yourself, this time, I'm serious, only to fall right back into old habits? That's what happens when your decision isn't deep enough. You say you want it, but do you really? Are you ready to sacrifice for it? Are you ready to wake up earlier, work harder, push through the moments when you feel like giving up? Because that's what it takes. And I know it's hard. It's uncomfortable, but growth doesn't happen in comfort. You ever heard the saying, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor? That's real. The setbacks, the struggles, the moments of doubt, they are not there to break you. They're there to shape you, to test if you really want this. That's why every successful person has been through the fire. Not one of them got there without struggle. But here's where most people get it twisted. They think failure is a stop sign. Like one mistake, one setback means they weren't meant for this. No, failure is a teacher. It's the universe testing your commitment. You only lose when you quit, when you let doubt convince you that you're not good enough. And that doubt, that little voice in your head saying, who do you think you are? That's what they call imposter syndrome. You feel like you don't belong, like you're not worthy of success, like one day people will find out you're not as good as they think. But let me tell you something, everyone feels that way at some point. I've felt it. Some of the most successful people in the world have felt it. But the difference is, they didn't let it stop them. They pushed through. Because here's a psychology fact, your brain is wired to protect you from discomfort. It wants you to stay safe, to avoid risk, to stay exactly where you are. But the problem is, where you are isn't where you want to be. That's why you have to override that programming. You have to rewire your mind for success. And one of the best ways to do that, face your fears head on. You ever heard about my skydiving experience? Let me tell you, nothing teaches you about fear like jumping out of a plane. I remember standing on that edge, looking down at the world, and my heart was pounding. Every instinct in my body was screaming, "Don't do it." But the moment I jumped, the fear disappeared. I was free. I was flying. And in that moment, I realized something: fear only exists before you take action. Once you step forward, it loses its power. That's the secret to breaking through. You don't wait for fear to go away. You move despite it. That's how you build confidence. That's how you grow. You don't let fear make your decisions for you. You make the decision first, and the fear follows. So let me ask you, what's the decision you've been avoiding? What's that thing in your life, UKNOW, you need to do, but fear has been holding you back? Is it starting that business? Is it going after your dream job? Is it walking away from a toxic situation? Whatever it is, you already know what needs to be. You've known for a long time, but knowing isn't enough. Deciding is. Let's get real for a second. What stops most people from making that decision? What keeps them stuck in the same cycle year after year, knowing they want more but never making a move? It's fear. Fear of failure. Fear of looking stupid. Fear of stepping outside what's comfortable. But let me tell you something: everything you want is on the other side of fear. That dream life, that version of you that wakes up with energy, passion, and purpose, is waiting for you. But you gotta go through the fear to get there. And here's the problem: most people think fear means stop. They feel scared, and they take that as a sign that they're not ready. But that's not true. Fear isn't a stop sign, it's a green light. It's proof that you're stepping into something bigger than yourself. Something that's going to challenge you, stretch you, force you to grow. And that's exactly what you need. Because listen, if you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. There's never going to be a perfect moment. There's never going to be a day where fear just magically disappears and everything lines up perfectly. You have to start before you feel ready. You have to take that first step while your hands are still shaking, while your heart is still pounding, while your mind is screaming, "What if this goes wrong?" Because here's the truth: what if it goes right? Think about that for a second. What if the risk you take actually pays off? What if that decision you've been hesitating on is the one that unlocks your full potential? What if the life you've been dreaming about isn't as far away as you think? But you'll never know unless you take that first step. And I get it, taking that first step is terrifying. But you know what's even scarier? Regret. Looking back years from now and realizing you played it safe. That you let fear make your decisions for you. That you had the potential, the talent, the ability, but you never acted on it. That's the real nightmare. You ever talk to older people about life? You ever hear what they regret the most? It's never the things they tried and failed at. It's the things they never did. The chances they never took. The risks they talked themselves out of. That's what haunts people. That's what keeps them up at night. And you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be sitting there at the end of your life wondering, what if? And let's be honest right now, you're already uncomfortable. You're already frustrated with where you are. You're already feeling stuck. So why not be uncomfortable moving forward? Why not be uncomfortable growing? Because either way, discomfort is part of the process. But one leads to regret and the other leads to greatness. That's why you have to stop overthinking. Overthinking is the enemy of action. It's what keeps people trapped in their heads, running in circles, coming up with a million reasons why now isn't the right time. But you know what thinking doesn't do? Change your life. Only action does that. So let me ask you again, what's the decision you need to make? What's that one thing that's been sitting on your heart? That idea, that goal, that dream that just won't leave you alone. Because that's not random. That's your calling. That's the universe, God, whatever you believe in, pulling you towards something bigger. But you have to answer that call. You have to decide once and for all that you are going to step up, that you are going to bet on yourself, that you are done waiting, done hesitating, done letting fear dictate your life. Because here's the deal: you don't get unlimited time. Every day you wait is a day you don't get back. Every moment spent doubting yourself is a moment wasted. And trust me, I get it, change is scary. But you know what's even scarier? Staying the same. Waking up a year from now, 5 years from now, and realizing you're still in the same place, still struggling with the same doubts, still making the same excuses. That's the real tragedy. So, this is it. This is your moment. This is your decision. The one decision that changes everything. And you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to decide that you're ready to start, that you're ready to bet on yourself. Because once you make that decision, the universe starts working in your favor. Opportunities start showing up. People start noticing. Doors start opening, but only when you take that first step. You ever wonder why some people seem to create success while others just talk about it? It's not about talent. It's not about intelligence. It's about one thing: commitment. The people who win in life are the ones who decide deep down that there's no plan B. There's no turning back. There's no "I'll try and see what happens." It's do or die. They don't hope for success, they commit to it. And that's the difference. See, most people make decisions based on their emotions. They move when they feel motivated. They work hard when they're inspired. But the moment things get hard, the moment motivation fades, they stop. And that's why they never get anywhere, because motivation is temporary. Commitment is permanent. You think the best athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the best artists wake up every day feeling inspired? No, they wake up every day and do it anyway. Even when they don't feel like it, even when they're tired, even when things aren't going their way. Because they understand something most people don't: discipline beats motivation every single time. And let's talk about setbacks, because you better believe they're coming. Life is gonna test you. You're gonna get hit with rejection, with failure, with moments where you question everything. But let me ask you something: are you gonna let that break you? Or are you gonna use it to get stronger? Because setbacks, they're not the end. They're part of the process. If you're facing challenges right now, good. That means you're in the game. That means you're growing. And if you can push through, if you can keep going when things aren't easy, that's where real success happens. You ever heard of people who lost everything and came back stronger? People who had every reason to quit but didn't. There's a reason their stories inspire us, because we see what's possible when someone refuses to give up. They didn't have anything special. They just made a decision that no matter what, they were going to win. And guess what? You have that same power. But most people, they never tap into it. They let doubt stop them before they even begin. They let fear talk them out of their dreams. They let other people's opinions dictate their lives. That's not living. That's existing. And you've got to ask yourself, are you here to exist, or are you here to live? Because life is short. And if you're not careful, you'll spend years waiting for the perfect time, waiting to feel ready, waiting for someone to give you permission. But let me tell you something: nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's gonna hand you the life you want. It's on you. It's always been on you. And I know it's easy to say, but Will, you don't know my situation. You don't know what I've been through. You're right, I don't. But I do know this: you are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for. And if you just stop doubting yourself for 1 second, if you just stop making excuses, you will see what you're really capable of. Because at the end of the day, success isn't about luck. It's not about who has the best background, the best resources, the best connections. It's about who refuses to quit. That's it. The people who win in life aren't always the smartest, the fastest, the most talented. They're just the ones who keep going when everyone else gives up. And here's something powerful: your future is being shaped right now. Every decision you make today is writing the story you'll tell tomorrow. Every time you choose action over excuses, every time you push through doubt, every time you refuse to settle, you're rebuilding the person you're becoming. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna keep playing small, keep letting fear run your life? Or are you gonna make the one decision that changes everything? Because that's all it takes. One choice, one moment, one commitment to bet on yourself, to stop waiting, to stop holding back, to stop living life on autopilot. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment. The only question is, are you ready to answer it? You ever look back at your life and realize how many times you've held yourself back? How many moments passed you by because you were too scared to take action? Maybe it was an opportunity you didn't take, a relationship you didn't fight for, a dream you talked yourself out of because you didn't think you were good enough. That's the real tragedy, not the failures, not the mistakes, but the chances you never took. The moments you let slip through your fingers because fear got the best of you. But here's the thing, you don't have to keep living like that. You don't have to stay stuck in that cycle. Because at any moment, you can make a new decision. You can decide right now that your past is not your future. That the mistakes you made, the doubts you had, the fears that controlled you, they don't get to define you anymore. One decision, that's all it takes. And you might be thinking, Will, that sounds great, but how do I actually do it? How do you go from doubting yourself to believing in yourself, from waiting to taking action, from being stuck to finally moving forward? It starts with understanding your mind is the battlefield. Every limitation you have, every excuse you make, every reason you tell yourself why you can't do something, it all starts in your head. Your thoughts control your life. And if you don't learn to control them, they will control you. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'm not good enough? How many times have you let that voice in your head convince you that you don't have what it takes, that you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough? But let me ask you, where did those thoughts come from? Who told you that? Because you weren't born thinking that way. Somewhere along the line, you picked up those beliefs. And maybe it was something someone said to you. Maybe it was a failure that made you doubt yourself. Maybe it was years of playing it safe, of shrinking yourself, of staying small. But guess what? Just like you learned it to doubt yourself, you can unlearn it. Just like your mind was programmed to play it safe, you can reprogram it to take risks, to believe in yourself, to step into your full potential. And that's what personal growth is all about. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about becoming who you were meant to be before the world convinced you otherwise. It's about stripping away the fears, the doubts, the insecurities that were never really yours to begin with. And I know change isn't comfortable. Growth isn't comfortable. But you know what else isn't comfortable? Staying the same. Waking up every day feeling like you're not living up to your potential. Knowing deep down you were meant for more, but never doing anything about it. So if both paths are uncomfortable, why not choose the one that leads to something better? Why not choose the discomfort that helps you grow, that builds confidence, that leads to a life you're actually excited about? Because here's the psychology fact: your brain will always try to pull you back to what's familiar, even if what's familiar is making you miserable. That's why people stay in bad relationships, bad jobs, bad habits. And not because they're happy, but because it's what they know. Because even pain can feel comfortable when it's all you've ever known. But that's not living. That's survival. And you were made for more than just surviving. So how do you break the cycle? How do you override your brain's programming and take control of your life? You make the one decision that changes everything. You decide that from this moment forward, you will no longer be controlled by fear, that you will no longer settle for less than you deserve, that you will stop making excuses, Stop waiting for the right time. Stop letting other people's opinions dictate your choices. You take responsibility for your life because nobody's coming to do it for you. And let me be real with you, this isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. If success was easy, everyone would have it. If greatness was comfortable, everyone would be living their dream life. But the truth is, most people aren't willing to do what it takes. They want the results, but they don't want the work. But you're different. You wouldn't still be here listening to this if you weren't searching for something bigger. If you weren't meant for something more. And maybe nobody's ever told you this before, but let me say it now: you are capable of more than you think. You are stronger than your struggles. You are bigger than your fears. And you are worthy of success. But none of that matters unless you believe it, unless you act on it. So let me ask you again, what's stopping you? What excuse have you been holding on to? What fear has been running your life? And more importantly, when are you gonna let it go? Because time is running out. Not in some dramatic, life is short kind of way, but in a very real way. Every second you spend doubting yourself is a sec, and you don't get back. Every day you wait is a day wasted. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to waste my time. I refuse to get to the end of my life and wish I had done more. I refuse to let fear win. And if you're still here, if you're still listening, I know you feel the same way. So this is it. You're a wake-up call. You can keep living the same story, making the same excuses, running the same cycle. Or you can make the one decision that changes everything. The choice is yours. What would your life look like if you stopped hesitating? If you stopped questioning yourself, stopped doubting your abilities, stopped waiting for the perfect moment? What would change? Because deep down, you already know what you want. You already have a vision of the life you wish you were living. But instead of chasing it, instead of going all in, you hesitate. You hold back. Why? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what people might say, fear that maybe, just maybe, you're not enough. But let me tell you the truth, fear is a liar. It whispers in your ear, telling you all the reasons why you can't do something. It shows you the worst case scenario, convinces you that failure is something to be avoided. But failure is the best teacher you'll ever have. Think about it, when you learn it to walk, you didn't just get up one day and start running without a lot. And every time you fell, your body learned something new. How to balance, how to shift your weight, how to get up and try again. And eventually, you walked. But somewhere along the way, life taught you that failure was bad. That mistakes meant you weren't good enough. That if something didn't work the first time, maybe it wasn't meant to be. That's the biggest lie you've ever been told. The most successful people in the world, they didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by failing over and over and over again until they figured it out. You want to know what separates winners from everyone else? Winners don't let fear stop them. They feel the fear, they acknowledge it, and then they move forward anyway. That's the key. That's what most people don't understand. Fear doesn't go away. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes because of action. And if you're waiting for the fear to disappear before you start, if you're waiting to feel ready before you take the leap, you'll be waiting your entire life. Because the truth is, you're never going to feel 100 ready. You're never going to have all the answers. And that's okay. The real question is, are you willing to jump anyway? Are you willing to step into the unknown, to risk failure, to trust yourself even when you don't have all the pieces figured out? Because if you can make that one decision, your entire life will change. And let's be real, what's the worst that could happen? You fail, you fall flat on your face. So what? You get back up. You grow, you try again. Because the alternative, staying exactly where you are, that's the real failure. And I get it. The unknown is scary. Taking risks is scary. But you know what's scarier? Looking back on your life years from now and realizing you never really lived. That you spent your time playing it safe, following the rules, doing what was expected, but never truly going after what set your soul on fire. That's not living. That's existing. And I refuse to live that way. Do you? Because the truth is, every moment you waste is a moment you don't get back. Every day you hesitate is a day you could have spent building your dream, becoming the person you were meant to be. So what's stopping you? What excuse have you been holding on to? What story have you been telling yourself about why you can't do it? Because let me tell you something, whatever excuse you have, somebody else had it too. And they made it anyway. They made the decision. They took the risk. They bet on themselves when nobody else would. And now they're living the life you want, not because they were luckier, not because they were smarter, but because they decided to stop waiting. And I know maybe you're thinking, but Will, I've tried before and it didn't work. Good. That means you're in the game. That means you're already ahead of the people still sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the right time. But let me ask you, did you really give it everything? Did you push past the first obstacle, the first setback, the first moment of self-doubt? Or did you retreat, tell yourself it wasn't meant for you, go back to what felt safe? It's not about getting it right the first time. It's about getting back up. Over and over and over again. And yeah, people might doubt. They might laugh at you, criticize you, tell you to be realistic. But guess what? Those same people will be the ones asking how you did it when you finally succeed. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the fear to disappear. Stop waiting for life to hand you the perfect moment. This is the moment, right here, right now. The only question is, are you ready to take it? You ever notice how people who don't go after their dreams are always the first ones to tell you why you can't go after yours? They'll tell you it's too risky, that you should be realistic, that you're wasting your time. And if you listen to them, if you let their doubts become your doubts, guess what? They win. Because the truth is most people aren't afraid that they'll fail. They're afraid that you'll succeed, that you'll prove them wrong, that you'll have the courage to do what they never did. And listen, this is where most people stop. This is where most people give up. Not because they weren't capable, not because they weren't talented enough, but because they let somebody else's fear become their reality. But that's not you. You're different because you're here, right now, still listening, still searching for something bigger, still refusing to settle. And that tells me one thing: you are ready. Maybe you don't feel ready. Maybe you don't have all the answers yet, but you're ready enough to start. Because let me tell you, nobody starts with all the answers. Nobody knows exactly what they're doing in the beginning. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, they all started from scratch. With doubt, with fear, with obstacles in their way, but they made the one decision that changes everything. They decided to show up anyway. They decided that their dreams were worth the risk, that their potential was worth more than their fear. And now they're living the life you want, not because they had something you don't, but because they were willing to do what most people won't. So let me ask you, what if you stopped letting fear control you? What if you stopped hesitating, stopped questioning yourself, stopped waiting for the right time? What if just for a moment you believed in yourself as much as I believe in you? Because I do. I believe you are capable of more than you think. I believe you have everything you need to succeed already inside you. But none of that matters unless you believe it too. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna let another day pass by, another opportunity slip through your fingers, another moment wasted on fear? Or are you gonna step up? Because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna do this for you. Nobody's gonna hand you the life you want. You have to take it. You have to fight for it. You have to want it bad enough to push through the setbacks, the doubts, the moments of exhaustion when it feels like nothing is working. Because success isn't built on motivation. It's built on discipline, on showing up when you don't feel like it, on taking action when you'd rather stay comfortable, on making the hard choices, the uncomfortable choices, the choices that separate winners from everybody else. And yeah, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have moments where you want to quit, where the voice in your head tells you it's not worth it. But guess what? That's the moment you have to keep going. Because most people quit right before their breakthrough. They stop when things get tough, when success feels just out of reach. But the ones who make it, they push through. They keep swinging even when they can't see the result yet. And that's the difference. That's what separates the people who unlock their full potential now from the ones who spend their whole lives wondering what if. So I'm asking you, what kind of person are you going to be? Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to one decision. Are you going to step up or are you going to step back because the clock is ticking? The world isn't waiting for you. You have to move now. So what's it going to be? Here's the truth: most people don't want to admit your life is the result of your decisions. Not your circumstances, not your background, not what somebody else did or didn't do for you. Your decisions. And there is always one decision that changes everything. Maybe it's the decision to finally take yourself seriously, to stop making excuses, to stop waiting for the perfect moment, to stop looking at other people's success and thinking, that could never be me. Because why not you? Why not be the person who rises above their doubts? Why not be the one who proves everybody wrong? Why not be the one who makes it? Because if somebody else did it, that means it's possible. And if it's possible, you can do it too, but only if you decide. Because success doesn't happen by accident. You don't just wake up one day and have the life you always wanted. You build it one decision at a time, one action at a time, one risk at a time. And yeah, you're gonna stumble. You're gonna have days where you feel like quitting. But let me tell you something, quitting is the only guarantee that you'll never succeed. You know how many people give up too soon? How many people stop just before their breakthrough? Too many? And I refuse to let that be you. Because right now, you have a choice. Right now, in this moment, you can decide to be different. To be the one who doesn't quit. To be the one who fights for their dream even when nobody else believes in it. Because at the end of the day, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to give you permission. You have to take it. You have to be the one who decides, this is it. This is the moment I stop holding back. Because if you keep waiting for the perfect time, for the fear to go away, for things to magically become easier, you'll wait forever. Fear doesn't disappear. Doubt doesn't vanish. You just get stronger. And let me tell you something, the second you decide to stop playing small, to stop holding back, to start believing in yourself at a level most people never will, that's the moment your entire life changes. Because most people don't fail because they're not talented. They don't fail because they don't have potential. They fail because they never fully commit. They stay half in, half out. They let fear make their decisions. They let other people's opinions shape their reality. But you're better than that. You've been waiting for a sign. This is it. This is the moment you stop waiting for somebody to believe in you and start believing in yourself. This is the moment you stop making excuses and start making moves. This is the moment you decide, I will not be denied. Because let me tell you something, the people who succeed, they're not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who kept going. The ones who faced rejection, failure, fear, and still showed up anyway. And you have that same power inside you. You have the ability to change everything starting today. The question is, will you look back years from now wishing you had? Because the only thing standing between you and a life you want is one decision. One decision to stop waiting. One decision to take action. One decision to bet on yourself when nobody else will. And let me be clear, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna face setbacks. You're gonna have days where you wonder if it's even worth it. But let me tell you it is. Because the pain of discipline, the pain of effort, the pain of pushing through, that pain is temporary. But the pain of regret, that lasts forever. So don't be the person who looks back and wonders what if. Don't be the person who let fear, doubt, and hesitation steal their future. Be the person who made the decision. Because the life you want is waiting for you. But you have to go get it. You have to move now. Because time doesn't wait. And if you don't act now, when will you? This is your moment. This is your shot. Don't waste it. We are Wisdom Recorder, your knowledge source. If this message hit you, if you're ready to stop waiting and start taking actions, subscribe and like for more content. Because this is just the beginning.